Hello everyone, it is X-Playman or TechniMark on YouTube, and I am here making a video in person. Little bit of a soapbox talking head video. 80% because it's my birthday tomorrow, and I wasn't going to go that deep into editing a video, so I was looking for like a nice little cheap, quick video to do to get away with not having to spend so much time audio balancing and other stuff for the casting, and 20% because this is actually something I feel like I need to get off my chest in this community. It's seriously though, it is, I feel like just the time to kind of get it off, only because I mean, 0 Hour, love it, great game. I think there is a lot of expectations coming from people going into 0 Hour, because 0 Hour plays somewhat similarly, very roughly, to Rainbow Six Siege. And I think there is maybe like a little bit of a little history reminder needed for people. Nothing against any game, Rainbow Six Siege or 0 Hour or the developers of either of those games. But just kind of to get right into it, I think one thing that people forget is Rainbow Six Siege came out in December of 2015. It wasn't good. That's just the reality of it. It was, and Ubisoft Montreal decided they weren't going to give up on it. And it wasn't until about 2 years later that they made it an actual good, desirable game to play. If anyone can remember from the E3 announcement, Rainbow Six Siege was a different advertised game, and then the game came out and it wasn't that. And the game was also changed so much from what Rainbow Six fans were actually expecting or were used to out of a Rainbow Six game, coming from Rainbow Six, 3, Rogue Shield, and Vegas and Vegas 2. Like, it was just not the tactical shooter that the Rainbow Six series has been known for, which is another thing. I've heard people reference Rainbow Six Siege being a tactical shooter. It is not that at all. That is not, it's not remotely close to being used to use the word tactical for Rainbow Six Siege. Rainbow Six Siege is Call of Duty with gadgets and no respawn. That's what it's. Rainbow Six Siege is still a twitchy shooter where someone within a fraction of a millisecond sees 2 little pixels of a person and just starts firing and takes you out. It's a twitch shooter. Okay, it's just that you don't respawn and you have a lot more gadgets. That's it. So, and again, not to dump on Rainbow Six Siege. I'm just saying that it is not the tactical shooter that the word tactical shooter actually means. Tactical shooter is the kind of game that you get into, like someone from Battlefield, how they might switch to more of a tactical, more hardcore shooter like Squad or Arma, or how someone might play SWAT 4 or 0 Hour or Ground Branch. Those are tactical shooters. And for anyone who plays Rainbow Six Siege, play any of the titles I just listed: Squad, Arma, SWAT 4, and the difference between Rainbow Six Siege and those games is black and white. Companies like Ubisoft and Electronic Arts, they are not necessarily trying to focus on a singular vision for their game, a certain experience they want to capture. They are looking for broad appeal, right? They have stockholders. Stockholders want to make more money. The way they make more money is by getting more people interested in the game. So, not saying that this is happening or that this has happened, though you can kind of get the picture anyway. But just to kind of make sure you understand here, I'll throw this example out here. A company like Ubisoft would gladly take or sacrifice 10,000 people who are just really going to be pissed off at how Rainbow Six has changed, going from what they knew, going back to Rogue Shields into in Vegas and Vegas 2, going into Rainbow Six Siege, if it means that they're going to get 100,000 more new players. Right? And Rainbow Six Siege was not there for a while. It missed the mark for people who knew the brand, and it wasn't interesting enough for newer people to come in until they just kept updating it and putting more things into there. And then it got to the point for me personally where, like, after the second season when they introduced Mira in there, that the operators were getting a little bit too silly. If there's any evidence of this, there's nothing for competitive matches. You know, typically there's like map bans for teams to pick the map that they're gonna play that round. And then on Rainbow Six Siege competitive matches, there's the extra layer of operator bans. So if that doesn't tell you right there how wild some of the operators have gotten, that they not only do you have to ban the maps but also the operators. Yeah, there's the proof right there. And again, not dumping on Siege being... Look, Siege is fun for people, okay? I don't like Fortnite, but obviously Fortnite has a big following because it attracts that many players. I'm not taking a dump on games like Rainbow Six Siege or Fortnite. It's just not for me. Obviously, it has success for a reason. But I'm just saying that if you're coming into 0 Hour and you're looking for Rainbow Six Siege type things, you're not going to find it. This is a small indie developer relative to all these other major companies. They have a vision for the kind of game they want to make. And that vision is put plainly in your face. There's actually a learn button right in the main menu where they actually, in words, tell you what the vision is. They are looking for a tactical shooter here. Tactical shooter. That's not Rainbow Six Siege. That's more in line with games like SWAT and Squad and all the other ones I've already mentioned over and over. So I think the point of all this is because in the community there's been a lot of comments about the developers being too slow, or because of the fact that maybe they're too cocky, they think everything works. No, this is a small developer. Okay, take a look at Ubisoft Montreal. Okay, Ubisoft Montreal, this is their building in Montreal. I've been there, and this is from one intersection, and that other street along that building is another intersection, and that's still not the whole building. It's 4 stories tall. It looks like they also have a basement in there. And you see behind the gas station here, that building is still connected to the main building. That's Ubisoft Montreal. That building produces not just Rainbow Six Siege, not to mention that Ubisoft is international, but Assassin's Creed games. And somewhere in there, I'd like to believe they're also working on a Splinter Cell game. It might be wishful thinking, but I would like to believe that there's another Splinter Cell game down the road. If we take a look at M7, this is M7's building. It is maybe also 4 stories, it looks like, because it's kind of under construction. And this was taken in May 2013. I think Google Street View hasn't even gone by there again since May of 2013, so it's been almost 8 years since they've last been here. And from some light searches, it also seems like there's other businesses in that building, so I wouldn't even say that, yeah, it's a 4-story building, but you know, unlike Ubisoft that they own the building, I don't believe M7 is on multiple floors here. Certainly not all of them. They might even just have an office on a floor shared with something else, like I don't know, a legal office or somebody who makes copies of paper. And not trying to take a dump on the devs, you know, in comparison. I'm just trying to get real here with the scale difference between Ubisoft and M7. Ubisoft, a major company who includes analytics stuff in the game to find out what's going wrong with it so they can more easily fix things that are affecting the majority, and it still took them over 2 years to get Rainbow Six Siege to get traction. That compared to M7 that has a specific vision they're looking for. They've communicated that vision, and for players coming into the 0 hour space, especially from Siege, must be looking for something else that they're not getting there. So, main long story short here is to be patient. It's a much significantly smaller development studio than a Ubisoft that's working on multiple major titles out of one space. The devs might not be pushing updates that frequently, not because they're cocky and think their game is fine and that it doesn't need to be fixed. I've had interactions with the devs, and anecdotally I know that they've been very humbled from other people who've talked about their interactions with the devs. Even just the Zero Cup tournament that's coming up. My understanding is that they were kind of taken aback by the idea that someone would want to turn their game into a tournament or use it for a tournament in the first place. They want feedback. I've sent them feedback. Sometimes just, hey, we encountered this kind of an issue. They're looking for feedback. They're looking for actual, hey, what happened, here. Sometimes it's just a lot of, oh, this is broken and blah, and people, complaining don't actually, put details in there. And that's going to happen anytime with any game. But they're actually looking for feedback. They're actually looking to work in their game. It's in early access. They're in a vulnerable state right now because this thing that they've been working on, they've released, not saying, hey, it's ready to go. No, they've released it in early access. They want the feedback. They want to adjust and develop the game with the feedback from the community and support from the community. So I'm just, as far for this message really just goes out to anyone who either has our success type expectations of this or what the game will become, and not saying that the game can't be good. I'm just saying that the game, like, for it to try to get to that kind of a style of play, it's like, no, this is a tactical shooter for one thing, and the content pipeline, the bandwidth is much smaller for a developer the size of M7 compared to Ubisoft. This has nothing to do with their ability to make a great game. Look at Valheim. As of right now, 6 million copies sold, and the game was out like a month ago. And I love that game too. That's a great game. But who's that developer, huh? So the point here is just maybe pull back your expectations a little bit. Give them time to work it out. It's not slow updates because they think it works fine. They are working on the issues. But also my hope is that anyone too coming into 0 hour now, maybe not sure what you're going to get out of this game or what you want to get out of this game, might just kind of understand what it is you're getting. You're getting a tactical shooter. Slow pace. This strategy wins here. If you watch some of the casts, you already know. Teams with the best KDs don't always win. In fact, a lot of times they don't. It's usually the team with the best strategy. That's what tactical shooters are all about. So, getting off my little soapbox there. Just hope that the community really just gives M7 and Attrito the space and time they need to get things done properly. I mean, I'm not being totally lenient here too. They can't just sit back and do nothing. They have to release content, yes, but I mean, just maybe tone down the aggressiveness that I see sometimes in either other videos or in the Discords or anything like that. Give them a chance. That said, I'm gonna be off tomorrow. No videos, just spending time with the family and a wife who's been kind of PO'd about all the time I've been spending with you guys in 0 hour and casting. So I will catch you in the next match. And stay tuned for the tournament.